Maddie says we are milking more Oblivion Remake videos. So I guess we're milking more Oblivion Remake videos then.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. You've been so good to me since 2006. But it's time.
Okay, if you take the Oblivion CD and case and swap it out for a corporate boot, suddenly this all makes a lot more sense.
For a new chapter. Hello there. It's me, the guy you made fun of for years. Oh, he's out of his damn mind. It's not happening. I'm not believing it. I saw the comments last video. Millie's gonna be talking about this for 10 years. You're goddamn right, because it's real. It's real. It's happening. It's happening. Oblivion Remastered is...
Yeah, when they started remastering everything and it turned out to be making money, we kind of knew that everything old is going to get remastered at some point.
real. But it looks like a remake. What's going on here, man? But hey, we're not going to have to wait long to find out, because Eurogamer is reporting not only that they can corroborate these images, which, I mean, just look at them. It's real, for God's sake.
Eurogamer! Wow, I'm sure that's legit.
But also that next week, it'll be shadow dropping on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Game Pass. So all our questions are about to be answered in a mere few days. Y'all, I'm telling you, schedule your time off, okay? Schedule, you gotta find someone to watch the kids. Me, you just saw my dog hop up. Gotta ask the wife to take care of the pups. Schedule your games. You got anything you gotta wrap up, get it done. We're about to be occupado, all right? Now, other thing that was very interesting before we talk about these leaked images is where this leak all started, which was on Reddit Gaming Leaks and Rumors. There was a reported Virtuos Games employee who said something about the Altar project. Now, if you look at the leaked screenshots, which, by the way, after all these years of build-up, it is absolutely hilarious the way this was discovered, to the point that I do think Bethesda is pulling what I still believe they did with Fallout 4. You see, Fallout 4 had this thing called the Survivor 2299. It went on for months. It built up so much anticipation for Fallout 4, only for Bethesda to shut it down in like December of that year. The person behind the website was like, yeah, I was just messing around having fun, but it built up the Fallout 4 hype to a fever pitch for the hardcore community.
Yeah, makes sense. That's why they're never actually shadow dropping everything. Again, I think it's absolute BS that Bethesda is not at least going to tweet about the Oblivion remaster. Imagine how bad this is going to be if Bethesda is not even going to put a tweet in for this game and just say, "Hey, here's this shit. It's probably on Game Pass." So we can say that, "Oh, it's not a disaster." By the way, again, no one knows even what numbers are bad for them. I don't know if 500 players is bad. I don't know if 5,000 players is bad. I don't know if 50,000 players is good. Okay? No one knows the numbers. I can't predict them because we just don't have enough information about remasters like this, because there has not been anything even remotely close to comparable at this point. So I don't know what are they afraid of? Because Bethesda is afraid of all the evil me and everyone else out there, calling them pathetic, losers, and bad, because whatever they do is just hated and no one likes it, and then the line go down like this. And Microsoft is breathing down their throats because they are not happy with Todd goddamn Howard. Okay, imagine how bad something potentially needs to be in Bethesda for Todd Howard to not put his name on this bad boy, okay? Imagine how bad things need to be for Todd goddamn Howard to not put his name on this. Yeah, it needs to be Starfield levels of bad where Todd was... When Starfield first came out, Todd was like, Starfield is gonna be the next big thing for us in Bethesda. Yes, it's gonna stand along... It's gonna stand alongside the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout, and all of this shit. And then people hated it. And then Todd didn't even put his name on the expansion because, my god, doubling down on shit turns out doesn't make it into any less shit. Who would have expected, am I right? And now we're seeing this, and there's actually a chance that this just drops. Like, do they really think they just wasted money? Because remaking this thing and improving combat and whatnot is, well, I don't trust Bethesda with it in the first place, okay? Because keep in mind, this is theoretically done by a different studio, but remember Redfall, I mean. Remember Redfall? Yeah, that was also not done by Bethesda, but Bethesda turns out had the say on literally everything that happens in that game. It might as well literally been a Bethesda Studios project, considering they got to choose everything that the studio does with that game. So, this remake, this upscaling, this slight changes so it's a little bit more better for the actual real modern audience, and I'm talking about me and you in this case. Bethesda's gonna have its hand in the cookie jar. And I don't trust that hand, okay?
For all of these leaks and rumors and discussions about Oblivion Remake, for someone to go to the Virtuos Games website and to literally go inspect element, and here's this list of screenshots. Like, really? That's how it's going to happen. Just days away from the reveal. Unbelievable. However, these files went under a name of Alter, which may sound familiar if you've been with me tracking all of this, because yes, you see here in this paragraph, there is the Alter project, which is a remaster / remake of Oblivion done using a pairing system, meaning the remaster is running in Unreal Engine 5 and is also using the old Oblivion one. The new graphics are rendered in the Unreal Engine 5 project, but most of the gameplay, physics, etc. is still done in Oblivion, and the release window here was accurate as well. Obviously, I got a lot of thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, but if you're new...
Is he completely just Yeah, this is what I love about people like Addy, Juicehead, Joy Raptor, okay? Juicehead is doing good, though. Some fucking magically how. But everyone else, they just don't have enough to talk about because people only care about them as effectively almost like news channels. So they mill about the same thing like over and over and over and over and over again. Same way I do about wokeness in video games. That's at least fun because there's slight changes, there's different characters involved in this, okay? It feels fresh at least. That's why I don't get bored of it. And when I do, I'm just switch to a different subject that I'm interested in at that point. It truly is great to not be some kind of low testosterone weakling who is literally constantly just scared about the opinion of others and you can do things on your own volition. God, it fucking feels good, you know? Well, actually, I don't know that because that's how I have lived all my life. So, I don't actually know how the other side even feels. But I bet it's fucking horrible. Imagine making decisions based on the idea of, oh, will the broader cultural zeitgeist support me on this? Not fucking pathetic. Okay? It is wild.
Here, you're into what's going on with Oblivion Remaster, consider subscribing. Let's chat a little bit, shall we? So first, the
Yeah, let's overmill the same talking points again.
Packaging, right? Because this interested me. First and foremost, Oblivion Remastered is sharing a similar, at least this deluxe edition image, is sharing an interesting presentation style similar to that of when Skyrim Special Edition was first.
Listen, this sounds to me more or less like that. Oh, but the game has good music in it. Yeah, most games have good music in it, okay? And it's like, oh, look at the packaging. The deluxe edition has packaging. Yeah, it's a fucking deluxe edition, you idiot. It has a package. What did you did you expect some kind of Indian street food wrapping or something?
First announced that same sort of banner and kind of gold plaque and everything. However, it looks like we're getting a new physical edition of Oblivion. I have to admit, with the shadow drop and everything, was not expecting this. With that, however, in this extremely blurry image that is tough to make out, you'll see that there is a deluxe edition, and that deluxe edition does come with what looks to be horse armor DLC. So that's I don't know how I actually feel
about the horse armor.
About this. I mean, it would be funny if it was like
it's a meme. It's the easiest way of marketing, Maddie. Like, come on, fucking they keep the head in the, it's easy marketing.
Free little gimmick, but we're paying for it again. Man, they must know they got us hook, line, and sinker. That's bad.
Indeed.
But now for the real sauce, right? What we're all here for. These absolutely delightful looking screenshots here. We got a man on one knee using the bow and arrow, and it looks beautiful. The lighting looks incredible. The texture quality on the armor. Look at the detail on that helmet. Look at those pauldrons. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, you can barely see the polygons. Wow. Yo, what is this? What did they do to my hot dryads? Oh no, they modern audienced it. Oh shit.
Comparison photo here between the 2006 version and the 2025 version. Now,
is it just me, or is there something about low polygon monster women in games?
Immediately, there's two things that stand out here. Number one, as you'd expect, the environmental clutter is much more in the 2025 version. You see more like rocks on the shore. You see more weathering within the stones. The character models have been given more detail, but more than anything, what stood out to me right away is some of the lack of vibrancy, some of the desaturation here. This is interesting because color correction is not something that's very intensive on either like the game or just the implementation of it. So it is a clear creative decision to give it this look here. It is the only thing out of everything I've seen thus
now, I will admit, this is at least new and it's kind of interesting
as far about the Oblivion remaster that I look at and go, I don't know quite about that choice. To me, the top image is a lot more vibrant, a lot more what I expected. So it could just be the step out moment has shifted a bit. This biome has shifted a bit, but I love the vibrancy of Oblivion because combining that with the music that you hear, which I'm curious, like, are they going to use the same score? Are they remastering?
Wait, it could be so. No, they're not remastering the music probably because that would take way too. That would be way too expensive. But man, it is actually so easy just taking some kind of mod open, making the graphics better, and adding, you know, a couple of systems, fixing a couple of systems, and making a completely awesome game. It should be so easy, but no, they're not gonna do it.
Mastering that score, what are they doing with that? But when you step out and that music hits, Oblivion's a bit like a wonderland. It's a true fantasy land. I feel like when you ground it in what looks to be a lot more realism, not just obviously in fidelity, but even like the colors you see, I do wonder if that's going to strip a touch of the magic away. Again, we'll know when we experience it, but that was one thing that did give me the slight eyebrow lift. But overall, the trade-off is you see, even in this first exterior shot of a town, the texture detail, the reflection in the water, for God's sakes, the skies, it all looks absolutely incredible.
Wait. Can someone with, you know, computer background explain to me why everyone wants reflections in the water, even though reflections like this in the water are not actually a thing that happens in real life that often? But, you know, every fucking puddle needs to have a reflection of the city in the water. Like, what is the deal with that?
I cannot wait just to roam around this world once more. I hope the performance is excellent. And another great example of an exterior shot where the clutter has been dramatically improved is this entrance into the sewers. You can see the detail in the gates. You can see all of the foliage surrounding it.
That's a guided reference! I hate you people, okay? Listen. If you're someone who gets hyped about, I don't know, the Fallout TV show because it has an Easter egg to Fallout. Bro, it's a Fallout TV show. It's supposed to look like Fallout. What do you mean? If you're someone who wants to call a game good or a show good because it has Easter eggs, get the fuck out. Your opinion is worthless.
The rocks, like, so now you have like true pathing and rocks, and again, just a lot more detail in the environment that makes this world feel a lot more real. But again, the trade-off is how it's lit, how it's color corrected, a little bit different. But then you see a shot like this overlooking the Imperial City, right? I look at this and I go, that's what I signed up for. That cotton candy ass look that always sticks out in my head in Oblivion. When the sun is just setting, there's a little bit of a pink hue on the map. it's absolutely stunning. And I'm so happy out of everything that did
Stunning
leak,
and
it
brave.
was this shot, because I remember when I did my first ever re-review of Oblivion in 2018, there was a shot where I was just walking up a hill as my Khajiit, I believe, and it was just this pink, orange sunset
Matty 40 confirmed. Khajiit players.
shot, and I was like, this game still looks incredible to that point in time. And I feel like these sorts of creative choices being retained is a really good sign, in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, between the altar shots I showed you and this interior here, we don't really get a good look at how much the interiors have been overhauled. Now, looking at this one shot here that is in full high definition, if you will, it definitely gives a lot more of a warmer, cozier Skyrim feel to it all. What really does make me wonder is we don't see any of like the alien ruins, any of the dungeons. Those are the things I'm so eager to find out, like how far did they go? Because in a lot of spots we're seeing, like in the open world, in the clutter, in the actual visuals, like
Wait, this is already pretty good. So, I don't know.
it went way further than I was personally expecting. And this is combined with, now that we know all these leaks are combined to be true, remember the gameplay detail leak was talking about like overhauling the archery a little bit, overhauling the UI a little bit, overhauling things like first person melee combat. Those sorts of things were tweaked. So again, I'm wondering if they kind of were underselling to over deliver here, which would be the best case scenario. But we don't get as many interior shots as I was hoping for. But again, I'm willing to be patient. I mean, this has been the longest April of my life, but I'm willing to be a little more patient until, you know, we get that interior. And hey, by the way, if Bethesda wants to shadow drop it now, I mean, if the plan is to shadow drop it next week, like, just pull the trigger now. It's leaked. It's out there. Everyone knows about it.
By the way, do you think that Bethesda is leaking this information themselves? Because again, there should not be ever a shadow drop. Even if you think it fails, you're gonna do the pre-fucking market, right?
Everyone's talking about it. Like, just do it, would you? Just oblige us, would you? We get a shot of the night sky here, just a little bit of a peek at the night sky here. This looks to be, I believe, the alien ruins. Again, it's kind of tough to make out here. That sort of sky reminds me, honestly, a lot of Shivering Isle. I mean, they had, I just did a whole video about it on Retro Rebound, but that has an incredible set of skies, which, speaking of which, when I was looking at the Deluxe edition and stuff, and there was no actual written details about what is included in this. I don't know if this includes like Knights of the Nine, if this includes Shivering Isles. I hope it does. That would be amazing. But I also think about like what happened with Persona 3 Reload, where they're like, here's the remake of the game that you got. And it's like an awesome remake. And then they sold the answer later in the year. I could see a world where, you know, when you're shadow dropping this and you're building up that hype and you have that install base, that you remake Shivering Isles a bit later. But I mean, if they...
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, this is how game design, game selling, whatever you want to fucking call it, works. Making the base game is pretty expensive. Making, though, the expansion for it is ridiculously cheaper, ridiculously less time consuming, and if your base game sold well, unless you're Bethesda with Starfield, of course, you should expect to see a very good percent of players buy the expansion. Like, on average, worst case scenario, we're talking about 25% of people buying the expansion. Spoiler alert, I did the math. It looks like Starfield Shattered Space didn't even manage a 6% a player return from the people who had it. And keep in mind, a lot of people had it for fucking free, which means no, Starfield is as dead as it can be, okay? Starfield has died so hard that, I mean, Todd Howard could not necromancy its ass up again.
Include that in the package, I would be so excited. And then maybe if they don't, I might have to take you out of...
Good. I'm actually very curious to see the numbers that Oblivion pulls, because everyone's playing it on Steam, okay? This is a Bethesda game. Everyone is playing it on Steam, and, you know, the argument, oh, but it's an Xbox, it doesn't work, okay? Because the hardcore fans, which are pretty much the only fans Bethesda has left at this point, are gonna be playing this thing on Steam, because that's where the modding is. This is how it happens for Bethesda games. Hardcore fans go and buy it on Steam. No, it doesn't matter on which console it is, doesn't matter how expensive or not expensive it is. They're buying it on Steam because that's where the modding is happening. Because they want that. So, we're gonna see 90% of the player base be on Steam. Okay? Well, I'm gonna test this. I'm kind of just guessing here. But again, that's a typical Bethesda thing. When Oblivion Remaster comes out, I'm gonna compare the first like 2 days, or maybe we're gonna go until Saturday to see the numbers, and then every day I'm gonna watch where it actually lands on Xbox most played games. That's what we're gonna do to have more information to judge things more accurately when more things inevitably happen like this. So we can continue being right about literally every prediction that we make, because spoiler alert, everything follows an already established pattern, and you just need to figure out what is the pattern. So there you kind of go.
Retirement again. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have just put you to the side so quickly. I'm so sorry. Oh, side note, by the way, since it looks like we're getting a new physical edition of Oblivion Remake, that thing better have, look at this, on the inside, it better have a map. Every Elder Scrolls game comes with a map. Bethesda, I want my map. I want my high definition Oblivion map, please.
Actually based.
And we don't see what it's like inside the Oblivion Gates, which was another thing I really wanted to know how far they'd go with, because the Oblivion Gates are great, but really confusing to navigate. Very easy to get lost with how repetitive the environments get. You kind of just, in my experience, wander around. You're like, I think I'm going the right way. I'm just trusting my gut here. It's where like real gamer intuition was built. We do see the exterior of one though, and good lord, the lighting, the sky, the fire. It burns so bright. It's beautiful. And also, this kind of leads into this website art for Oblivion Remaster, which again kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the color grading. The lighting is a lot more of a grounded, serious feel. I mean, this is raw, dude. I'm looking at this getting like goosebumps. This is sick.
Yeah, this seems more realistic than anything you would expect.
Like, I didn't know the hero Kavach just had that dog in him like this, dude. Look at this guy. So yeah, like, I'm pumped, man. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. You know, we just have only a few more days to wait. I don't know if Bethesda's going to do a little plot twist on us and give us a little bit of Oblivion Remastered early, but they right now, when you go over to the virtual site where this all leaked, it's shut down. It says it's forbidden. You cannot get access to it. So we're currently walled off until they let us in a little bit more. But yeah, it's real. It's all real. And so now we just need some questions answered. Like, what does dialogue look like in this game? Like, I'm not just talking about
probably the same. I really doubt that they're gonna swap dialogue. And by the way, oh, that's a good point though. If our boy, what's his stupid face, the one that the one that made Starfield and now is making Elder Scrolls 6, what's his stupid name? That one. If that guy is responsible for modernizing the dialogue of Oblivion, I mean, this is gonna be a disaster, okay? Oblivion's dialogue, as far as I have seen it, I played Morrowind. Oblivion's dialogue is decent, okay? It's not the best writing in the universe, but it's definitely better than anything we have seen in your typical it is like fucking light years ahead of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Starfield, and Starfield Shattered Space, Concord, and all of these shitty fucking dumbass games. It's light years ahead. So, if that guy gets to touch up on the old Oblivion dialogue and modernize it, it's gonna be over. That would just completely kill the game. Someone's gonna probably make a mod where Elilio Pagloraki, or whatever his name is, has never touched it in his life, and everyone's chill because of it. Anyway, that was Mr. Matty Plays, the Oblivion Remaster video, milked once again. I hope you're happy, boys. This time, if we ignore the fact that the start was extremely boring, at least this time we had something new, which was kind of cool, I guess. Anyway, bye!